It's low key. I'm back right quick. You know we had to come right back. I felt, I'm on my warrior shit. I had to come back for this Chicago's topic, part two, but I couldn't come back by myself. I had to come back with two kings so you guys could get their perspective. Uh, you guys should already know who they are, but if you don't, it's a good brother, the ambassador of the Fugazi Free Zone, Mr. Hyde Reactz. How you doing, sir?
Man, what's really good with you, man? You all right?
I'm man. Tell-
Mainly just YouTube for right now, man. You can hit me up at Hyde Reactz. Hey, that's Reactz with a Z, and you can get me on Twitter at Hyde7674.
Salute. Also, another good brother, another king, Mr. John Hardy, author, Astro Enlightenment coach. Uh, be on the lookout for his book coming out very soon. John, tell him the name of that book and also tell him where to find you.
The name of the book is Salt and Water for the Soul, and you can find me on Facebook.com// King John 2020, and up and coming YouTuber, and that will be at Astro Space Enlightenment on YouTube. There's a few videos, motivation, inspirational videos, but I got a lot more coming. And by the end of the year, I have my Instagram, Twitter, and Twitter up. And if you need to email me, you can email me at astrolifecoach1@gmail.com.
Salute. Now we about to get into it. I know this is gonna be a high energy, fucking show. So let's get into it. John, I'm gonna let you rock first, and Hyde, you're gonna follow up. But what is going on in Chicago right now?
Well, Chicago been have shootings. If you look at, let's go back to 2016. This is where we got I got to go to the stars. We go back to 2016. Mars was going retrograde. Mars brings violence again. So if you go back to 2016, 2014, this is where they had the most shooting, almost 2 years apart. 2 years apart. But the deeper aspect is it watching. The deeper aspect is watching how many people get killed, and the question is why. Why is it happening? Why is it not being stopped? I'm gonna stop right there.
Well, for me personally, there was a time when I first started on Facebook. When I first had my Facebook page, I was like trying to be an activist for Chicago. I don't live in Chicago, and frankly, I don't have a stake in it. But since everybody seemed to be passionate about lives, and especially Black lives, and how people were just appalled by certain things, I posted it damn near every day. The murder toll, and I ain't talking about injured or pummeled or rape. I'm talking about the murder death toll for the day or the year. I mean, you can go. There's a site called Murder Info, and they specialize in what goes on in Chicago. And if you go on there, man, I'm telling you, see, I call it, a person got really mad at me when I called it a modern day genocide. And they was trying to explain to me the meaning of genocide. And I told them, I said, I know what genocide means. I said, look what's happening there on a daily basis. You can get a yearly total where it's in the thousands as far as being murdered. You would think by now they would have run out of people. But I'm telling you, you can't go down. I'm telling you, fam, you want no parts of Chicago. I don't know who do. I don't know who do.
Hyde, going back to what you were saying in my chat before, or on my stream before, I brought up Michael Jackson, Kanye, R. Kelly, Twister, Obama. Where are these people at? Why are they not walking the streets trying to uplift the community, with the exception of Michael Jordan, where they're actually from? Why do we care more about their hometown than they do, than the natives do?
I don't know. I think it's crazy in the sense, the biggest thing about it is Chicago is like New York. As a citizen, you're not allowed. You can't. If you can go to the pen for shooting yourself in Chicago and New York, they will lock you the fuck up. But it seemed like the murder rate, the being shot rate is extremely high for citizens not being allowed to have guns. But the criminals got guns.
Facts. And when they do get locked up, I'm not saying, I believe everybody could be helped. So I don't want to say, they should go to jail. I mean, my thing is get the guns off the streets, but I'm not promoting a bunch of black people. But it's like in New York, if you get caught with guns, there's a good chance you're not coming home, especially if you're
convicted. Oh, it's gonna be a few years.
When you get caught with guns in there, they are bailing out. So when you go more towards that area and you go more towards the South, what guns got looser laws, even like certain places like Delaware versus Philly, you can bail out. You can have a gun charge, a violation of probation, and get a bail, and then catch another charge. They just raise your bail. They're about the money. See what I mean? Now, if you go, here's another site you can check out, good brother. This one is more accurate. If you go on Hey Jackass, and we're looking at year-to-date shooting, Hey Jackass is a site that keep it up-to-date shooting. It shows where people got shot in their ass. It shows the areas where they got shot. As it stands right now, there's 346 homicides. Total people that's being shot is over 1,800. Shots and wounded is over 1,500. Shots and killed 291. That's year to date. Just within from 8/5 to 8/11 is showing like 9 homicides, 55 total shots. That's just within a week. 47 shot and wounded, 8 killed. And then in August alone, 13 people killed. 84 shot. It even got the the daily reads. It got the areas that's the worst. It got where people been shot. The worst neighborhoods where people got killed. Like 94 people got killed, shot in the head. 58 in the chest.
John, I don't mean to interrupt you, but let me ask you a question. If nothing's really happening in a positive, productive light, as far as now that we know these stats. Why do they keep reminding us about these articles? Why do they keep writing these articles? Are they reminding everybody that, hey, look, this is how black people get down? Are they trying to humiliate blacks on a world stage?
No, this is called brainwashing through the media. If you have a kid watch something so many times like Superman, they might fly out the window and think they can fly. So you know what I mean? Because when we used to watch karates back in the days, we always think we knew karate. So if you brainwash like the rappers, for instance, the record industry is not going to let a rapper come up and rap nothing positive, especially in Chicago. They're going to tell you, speak your pain, speak what you feel, speak what you're going through, which is one of the worst things a person could go through because the power of words can create that. So through the media, when they putting on the news, Chicago is the worst city, that get brainwashed. So people in Chicago will feel like they have to protect themselves. They have to kill somebody. It becomes the norm. It becomes the trend. If you looked at that movie, there was a movie that came out, The Purge, for instance. They purged, and a purge is a psychological study of black people on depopulation through race genocide. So when they did that,
we got to bring that back, John. You got to repeat that, brother. Repeat that, please.
The movie Purge, right, is based off of depopulating a race through genocide. So if you look at Purge, they put it in Staten Island. Why? Staten Island only got one way to get in, one way to get out. Now, if you look at the time when that movie got released, news within a week after that, the crime rate went up, the killings went up, the purging begins. So purging been happening. But it's just been happening. Every movie that was a purge, go look where it took place at and then check the news.
But John, I just want to say this one thing real quick. It's so ironic that they came out with the Purge movie this year on July 4th, on Independence Day.
Exactly. And where they came out with it in Staten Island. So here we go, depopulating the black people by killing each other, doing the purge. So psychologically, it makes you feel like you could come out with a gun and it's legal to kill. Not to mention, when we get back to Chicago's, rappers are promoting violence to the fifth pinnacle. Back in the days, if you go back to New York, every rapper had a different style. They were talking about different things. There is no R&B rap in Chicago now. It's all shooting and killing. So when people listening to those music, they being influenced to go look for and even the terminology, looking for the ops. That's a military word. And getting to the military, that's being ran like a police. The police department is being ran like a military. They got military vehicles, military guns. They using military tactics. Now, let's go deeper than that. In 2013, the Department of Education closed 50 schools. Or they requested, let's say reportedly, they reportedly wanted to close down
Low key and John Wardy.
CBS News, May 27th. Look where we at, coincidentally. May 27th, 22nd, the Board of Education votes to shut down.
Low keys.
So when these kids' school gets shut down, where do they go? Where do they go? They go to the streets. While the school's getting shut down, jail's being built at the same time.
Facts.
So it's deeper than, you know, because you got the rappers and the record industry. You got poverty. They're not trying to build no new homes in there. You got the Ferguson Act that happened in 2016. So when the Ferguson Act, once Ferguson Act, the police was said at one time, you know what? If y'all got a problem with us protecting y'all, what if we stand down? Guess what? This from that moment on, since the Ferguson situation, police been literally standing down towards these shootings. They're not breaking their neck to solving it. And why are they doing that? So they could send martial law. If you go back, Trump actually was supposed to have sent the feds out of there, and they got, you know, to declare change.org is reporting that declare the martial law. And when you get martial law, you know that it's like let enough crime happen, let enough stuff happen, we can declare martial law. And it was also reported that that's one of the first states they want to use for martial law. They actually use the Katrina area, Louisiana, and those places too. So this is like, to me, I'm looking at it like it's a system, because we're not. I don't worry about getting help from Farrakhan, Kanye West, and Obama. There's a lot of people out there that's helping, but you know what? They don't really need those, even though they should. You know what I mean? Kanye West, Obama, and Farrakhan, they not really doing nothing. You know, they got enough money to rebuild the whole school, rebuild the better community and stuff like that. But there's a lot of people out there that's on the front that's not being recognized for their hard work, who's actually behind the scenes getting shut down. They're getting shut down.
That's a fact.
They got community
let Hyde respond to that, man. That's a fact, though.
For me, I won't even take it that deep. I'll just take it to the core, what I think is the core issue, and I might, and then I hope if I quote it wrong, please correct me, because I like to be correct when I quote somebody or something. I break it down to this. I was watching a documentary on Chicago once, and I think it was the documentary I saw it on a movie where this dude was talking about, he found a box of guns, nicely packaged, in the hood. And he was like, how did somebody leave a box of guns in the hood? And what was the point of them being there? He's like, clearly they want us to kill ourselves, this, that, and the other, or, you know, kill the op or whatever, you know, whatever the lingo is. But I think it boils down to this, and this is what because we point out a lot of different things, especially in the community, when we should start pointing out solutions and problems and solutions to problems. But we very seldom actually come up with a solution to the gorilla in the room, and that's a mentality. I think if you y'all, I'm sure John, I'm sure both of y'all have. Y'all heard about the dude William Lynch? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And was he quoted as saying, or did he say that you don't have to do anything to them? All you got to do is put them in an area with themselves, and they'll kill each other.
Right.
He said something very similar to that.
Yeah.
And isn't that pretty much what has happened?
And it goes back to what I said, the purge. If you drop a box of guns, you know they're going to shoot themselves. Yeah,
but I'm saying though, but why do we make the choice? Why do we make the choice to do that?
Social media. When you're brainwashed, your subconscious is acting without your conscious. You know what I mean? Just your brain. We've been brainwashed to react without thinking about it.
But what I'm saying is, at what point do we take back? I mean, because to be honest, I've always been the leader. I follow no man.
Right.
I mean, no man. I don't give a fuck what he do. President, sports. I don't give a shit what he do. My father, I'm my own man. Simple. And ain't nobody gonna make me do. You can't have me do nothing. And just by that mindset, it's a shame. It's a fucking shame that we look to other people for leadership when we're supposed to be kings and queens, but we can't make a conscious fucking decision not to kill the next fucking man. We sitting here, you trying to tell me, from what I understand, that we're being told that we are influenced by fucking TVs and radio to the point to where we can't even fucking think for ourselves anymore.
Wow.
And how the fuck are we gonna see it? Just and that's a bigger problem in itself, because how the fuck are we gonna come back as a race and we can't even get past fucking television and the radio?
But it's deep because this is not nothing that they use in Chicago. This has been worldwide for centuries. Now to think about it, it's deep, like you said, because instead of saying, let's go kill all the black people, let's use a psychological approach to them where they will want to kill themselves, where they be happy to put each other in the jail, where they will snitch on each other, but the police ain't snitching on each other, the government ain't snitching. So we got to, like you said, it's the system that got to be broken through the mind of unity. My first thing was to say, if somebody was to open up a record company out there and they promote better music, media, going back to Cosby shows and stuff like that, we had less violence then. So we got to start with that as a black community to promote better, just to get our mindset out of that media area. Then a lot of people don't know the type of food people eating creates anger. Meat creates anger. So we have to introduce a better diet to black people in general. You know what I mean? And then more community participating in activities, because back in the 70s, we used to have cookouts and stuff. We can't even do that now. You know what I mean? So just off of those three right there, just if people start, people turn like rap into hate when it used to be love. You know what I mean? So it's the music and those things. Like when we get people to start listening to better quality music, better TV shows, and stop posting. I used to tell people on my Facebook page, if you don't like negative stuff, stop posting it. And it starts with you. Don't worry about what nobody else is posting. Don't even post the word hate, because you'll create a trend of people not posting the word hate. Like, for instance, the way I answer my phone, I'm good afternoon, John speaking. So when people answer my phone, that rubs off on them. So like you said, we are our own people. We make our own decision. We as of age to know better on top of it. It's hard to try to get that through somebody with their pants off their ass, wearing earrings, doing feminine stuff. See what I mean? And the vibration, we're going into a feminine. So we got to get people to take responsibility for their own action. Like you said, we got to get them to think like us. We got to be able to get around. We got to be able to like post things. Like, for instance, if we go into Chicago, directly for Chicago. You know what I mean? So you was doing a good job with that. I started it. I stopped it. I said I might as well post. You know, I like to post a more broader aspect of things like that. Like, you go see my videos, you'll see what I mean. I like to post more. I like for people to dig into their mind. You know, if I was to ever make a video for Chicago, I'm positive I will make a dent.
And let me hop in real quick. And Hyde, I want to ask you this question. So let's, on the trajectory that Chicago, out of every other state or a lot of other states look like, they seem like they're on the trajectory the soonest to have martial law come through that state, that city, right? What happens then? How do you feel these people are going to respond when they have to get down and lay down?
Let me ask you this: why would they do martial law? Why would they do it now? They don't have a reason to do it. They don't have no reason on the face. It's been worse killing years than this, and they didn't do it. They don't have to do it. You do it to yourself. Listen, man, one thing about a human nature is this: you don't have to destroy human nature. You don't have to destroy a human being. A human being is going to do it to themselves. By nature alone, we're self-destructive just on the premise of being self-destructive. You don't have to do nothing to a human being. And now if you want to take it deeper, if you just look at the nature of African Americans, first off, we don't respect the next black man. Simple. We don't respect what the next black man says or does. In this society, if you say something that's not according to the script, you are deemed as a coon or doing a buck dance or a sellout or Uncle Tom. You can't have your own shit. If you're not going along with the script, you just can't be black. So the lack of respect for another black man, then the lack of respect for yourself. Because if you can't respect nobody else, how the fuck you respect yourself?
And I feel what you're saying, but I ask you that specific question to really speak on the larger scale.
Oh,
think
I don't think they have to. I don't think they have to do it. They haven't had to do it all this time.
But
And it's
here's the point, King. Whether they have to or not, if it's their intentions to do it, they're building up a foundation to do it. Now, if you go back, like I said, there's about 20 federal agents with alcohol, liquor, tobacco, firearms, explosives. They're joining a task force in Chicago, you know what I mean? And they're going to use crime as a means. Like, so if you hypothetically, let's allegedly, the police are standing down to these crimes so the statistics can go high enough to implement martial law. When they doing that, right? If they doing that, they're doing that. That's the start. That's the start.
That's what I wanted to get into. Is there any way that yes, John, that's what I was going to get into. My next question was, is it that Chicago, they could use Chicago kind of as like a experiment or a guinea pig when it comes to, how the government is going to control that area or space with these people to see how it goes, and then they could see how it goes, how it would be everywhere else, kind of situation like that.
Well, my thing is this. Let me ask you this, in that, because we could, let's say they do declare martial law, say they lock the bitch down, say whatever ever happens. Let me ask you this: what would be the cause of the martial law?
Crime.
And who's doing the fucking crimes?
Well, whoever doing the crimes.
Who and why? Who and why? Why we? What the fuck? That's like me. All right. That's like me saying, I'm going home. I'm going home. I'm checking my moms and my dad. I'm seeing they moving a certain way. All right. It looks like they put me in a position where they about to lock down my fucking house. Look like they about to lock this bitch down. And for what reason? Well, clearly I must listen, man. At some point in time, we looking at the end result. We got to look at what started this shit. What started it? And that's the behavior that you got to change, is what started it. We can say government, the government is going to react to anything that people do. Just like no different when all the shootings was going on. You had a certain group of white people was telling black people, hey, listen, don't fall for this shit because they trying to start a race war so they could put us in martial law. It was like a big group of people on Facebook saying that shit. And it was everybody's contention that the government is about to act. But with this situation in Chicago, the government hasn't acted yet. It looks, from what y'all saying, it looks like they're gonna act. But what's the cause of it? But I'm saying it's a mentality that has to be changed. We're worried about, are they gonna put guns to us? That fuck all that. That's I mean, that might be about to happen. But what led us to this point?
Well, to be honest, the thing is, it's like so invisible. If you do things in small increments, you won't see. It'll come to a point where people will be thinking, well, that's what they need because there's too much crime in it. But nobody looking at the little things, like the feds is over there, allegedly dropping off guns in neighborhoods. Police is standing down. You know what I mean? That's bigger than black people killing each other. Like, and sometimes we have wars in, let's say, Syria, and American guns and Jeep end up in the enemy hands. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. Now, if that's going down, this plot is bigger than just black people killing each other. Syria or Osama bin Laden, the American guns end up in the enemy hands during the time of war. Not one, too many times. Many times. So if guns is being dropped off, of course, look, okay, the feds is over there now. Why is the crime rate going up? That's like putting a hospital up there. That's like putting a hospital over there and sickness is going up. The feds is over there. Why is crime going up? It should have been reduced already. So what's behind the scene that's creating a reason to create martial law? I believe black people is naive because you can't even talk to them about this so deep. You know what I mean? Let them know, yo, this is deeper than what you guys seeing. You know what I mean? But the aspect of it is if that is the intentions, then it's not where, you know, a black man responsible for his own action.
Hey,
you can't entrap nobody into something. You know, now they're entrapping people. Right? They used to put bikes out there, you know, to make people steal cars. That's entrapment. So this is another form of entrapment for their own agenda to, you know, possibly depopulate the community, take over.
Family, and even what you just said, that's the thing. I was thinking about the same bait car shit the other day. I was like, you throw a fucking car on the block, leave the keys in, and you walk off. Motherfucker gonna jump in it. Yeah, but I'm not.
Right. See, you know what it
jumping in it.
You know what it is? I'm gonna give you a compliment. You know what it is? Like, you don't think like a lot of people. You're smart. A lot of people today ain't smart. Like, you go back to 2010, black people start getting brainwashed with music. You know, they think being gay is cool. A whole bunch of shit just start going down. They popping. I mean, no black people wasn't popping no perks and wasn't popping no damn perks. Now everybody popping perks. So everybody doing what the white man do. So you are one out of the few people that's like, I'm not gonna do that neither. But the police don't care if people dumb enough to do it. They making money off of arresting people through something that's called illegal entrapment. That was illegal. That's why they shut that show down, because they started getting so many lawsuits. You intentionally setting people up to take bicycles. If somebody see a freaking bicycle on a bike, that's called lost and found. You don't got to take that to no damn precinct. They started doing with bikes. And they just did it recently with something else, even more petty than bikes. So guess who they know statistically? Black people is going to take it. This is how they could put more charges on black people.
Wow.
But see, but that's what I'm saying. And you've said it a few times throughout the conversation that statistically we are more likely to take it. That's not fucking good. That's not good, man. That's
I told you why though. I told you why. I was like, it was a system set up for that. Let's go back to Chicago border end. When you close down the school, right? Let's just say you got public schools out there. All of a sudden, right, after the public, they got a public school. Let's say in one neighborhood, they got 3 public schools, right? Then all of a sudden, they bring a charter school in there. You know what charter schools are made for? To shut down that public school. In 3 to 5 years, those public schools going to be shut down because they're going to take the smartest people from the public school, bring them to the charter so they can have reasons. Now the feds is not funding public schools no more. While that charter school is up, in the next 5 years, they building a prison. So this is entrapment. They building a prison. After they build a prison, that black person that owned that charter school, he's pissed off because they shut his charter school down. Now that's an area that got a prison from school to prison pipeline set up to get rid of the public schools, let them go out there and commit all these crimes, build a jail behind the scene, get the charter school to get the smartest people out of there so they get not funded. And now you got what used to be a community center, parks and schools and libraries all taken away. It's like jail. The only thing that's in there is churches, security, and medical. In Rikers Island back in 1980, they took the education system out, they took the GED out, they took all this program, they took the gym from people, and that was a test. They start snapping in there, and they were like, oh yeah, this worked. But what they couldn't take away was the religious sector, the medical, and security. So if you had to leave to go anywhere for security, they would, you know, take you somewhere for medical reason and for religious reason. So they doing the same thing out in the community. When you restrict these things from people, like they can't go to the park, that community power center is now charging $20. Nobody can afford that. There's nowhere for these people to go but on the corner, listening to Lil Wayne and all this crap. That's a setup. Now you got nothing but a jail out there. I can't. Like, for people to make their own mistakes, yes, I agree with you. But when I see a setup like that, that's equivalent to somebody setting me up to get my house robbed, but it was my fault for leaving. You know what I mean? It was my fault. But we're not going to make that decision. But you can't blame 17, 15-year-old kids who's being brainwashed to mess with this kind of drugs, commit this kind of crime, because the people that's hypothetically 25 today, they mind is so fucked up. They think they 18. The niggas that's 30 walking around with their pants off their ass. No influence, no more positive influence, because of it's bigger than self-accountability. It's a system.
So John, are we wrong? John and Hyde, are we wrong? Like the three of us, are we wrong because we're not there? We're self-aware of what's happening, but we're physically not there, or physically doing help touching these people or touching the communities. Are we wrong because we're self-aware, but we're not physically touching these people or trying to change it ourselves?
No, we can never be wrong. You know what? We doing something that a lot of people in Chicago that should be doing, not doing. It's a lot of people out there doing things, making changes. But in this situation, we won't benefit from being over there trying to do what somebody been doing. We're going to meet people that be like, y'all been out here for 25 years, dog. I guarantee they're going to say the same thing I said. It's a system. The police stand down. They let the killings happen. Like Camden. You get killed, they're coming to investigate it the next day instead of going over there. You know what I mean? Camden, Chicago, Newark. If it's a shooting in Newark, they be like, man, I'm not getting shot with you. We'll be back.
I'm talking more along the lines of talking to the actual... I'm just gonna say the people in the gangs, the people, talk to them and say, yo. But I'm saying, yo, we here for you. Let's get our shit together, because what you're doing is fuck shit. It's monkey shit. We here for you. We gonna make you self-aware the same way we are.
A lot of people tried that. A lot of people, a lot of activists that, like the brother said, he did that. So a lot of people outside Chicago, we doing the most we can do right now by bringing it to the surface. And if this video could reach people, it'd be stronger than trying to communicate with a gang member who turned around and might take that information wrong. Because like the brother said, everything ain't for everybody. So you could talk to a gang member and get into a whole argument with this guy. Or you could talk to a political person who's actually an insider. Down with the coon shit. See what I'm saying? Right now, us tackling this right here, we can even do like a weekly broadcast on the topic. Somebody in Chicago will hit this and like that button and subscribe and start putting it out there. I don't think none of us need to put ourselves at risk to even be out there, to go out there. If I feel I need to do that, I'm going to Brooklyn first. And I'm going to do my own community. I need practice from over there. I'm going to the worst part of Brooklyn, and then I'm going to do that. But I'm in Delaware. I might as well make a change in Delaware, get the format down, and then do something. I don't think we're equipped to really take on that without people who experienced it for years already. We just touching on topics. You know what I mean? So at the most, I put the solution with the music.
Word. Let me ask Hyde a question. Hyde, do you feel sympathy for gang members or this gang violence? And do you feel like they're victims of the programming?
Shit, man. I hate to.
First off, I feel like that's a real question right there.
No, it is, but because I'm gonna be a hypocrite when I say this, but for me, I'm not sympathetic towards anybody, because I think unless you're mentally challenged, we all got an equal shot at doing things. Some people have to work harder. You know what I'm saying? I think in the morning, if you blessed with getting up in the morning, you got a shot. But I think, man, it's tough because a lot of people are born into it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are born into it and they don't get a lot of choices. But along with that one documentary, and this is one thing that really pissed me off when I was watching this, is that the guy from the documentary asked him, he's like, your people, your friends and your family, they dying out here on these streets every night. Won't you make a change? And he was like, I can't, what am I gonna do? The guy just, and it just hit me when the guy said, he said, won't you just leave? And the cat said, I can't go nowhere. Listen, man, that's the one thing I truly believe in, is that the one thing, I don't know if people believe in God or not, that's up to you, but free will is a hell of a thing, man. Because when you was blessed with free will, it gave you the right. It gave you the right to do whatever you, listen, if you don't want to be part of that shit, you get the fuck out of there. If you got to leave in the night, it's no different than women saying, listen, my boyfriend, he's abusing me and I can't leave him. Fuck that. You can get out. So it'd be hard for me to say that I'm sympathetic, but I understand the gang. Like when I moved, I wasn't involved in gangs when I left New Jersey. When I moved to Texas, I joined the Crip gang. And that was just, but I didn't stay. I had family in it. That's what my family was doing. So I did it also. But I saw myself involved in a lot of foul shit that I shouldn't be here today for. You know what I'm saying? I shouldn't be here right now for some of the foul shit that I pulled.
Hi, you was local?
Yeah. Badu Suva.
Wow, that's crazy.
But that's not, but you know, you could be involved in something and not be who you are. That's like I used to hustle. That's not who I was. You know what I'm saying? That's not who I am. And you know that in your heart. And a lot of people get killed well, murdered. A lot of people get murdered. A lot of people are up doing hard pen time behind something that they not. You know what I'm saying? Everybody not no trigger man, even though you may pull the trigger. So just because you gangbang, that's not necessarily who you are. But you, at the very least, you got to give yourself a shot.
Hyde, I feel like you'd be like a leader if you was in that. If you was, if you was
Well,
living.
that's why I didn't stay long, because that's not, bro. When I feel no different than my marriage, man. I left a 10-year marriage because I wasn't feeling that. Not because I didn't love her, but I wasn't feeling being with her in that manner.
How old was? Let me ask you a question. How old was you when you was gangbanging?
Oh shit, man! Like, late teens, early 20s.
And when did you stop?
Like shit, before I got married, like my late 20s.
Okay, see, and this is why I kind of give you props and credit, but you can't expect everybody to do the same. See, we all make
no doubt.
All make that mistake. Like people feeling like they shooters, but they're not trigger man. College dudes selling weed or drugs and stuff like that. So these youngins out there is going through the same thing we went through. You know what I mean? The only thing we could do is give them our story to get them out of it. But I can't say that's their fault. If they should know better not to steal a car. They should know better not to kill nobody, because that's what they being influenced. I seen a purple butterfly. I seen it in purple butter. I'm bugging out. But you know what I mean? That's what they being influenced within the community. Like when we was, I was influenced to do certain things when I was young, you know what I mean? But I was the type of person, and it took me a long time to get out of it. And it's that person's still in me, you know what I mean? But like when I used to be on the corner, parents used to always say, "What are you doing with these guys on the corner? You're nothing like them." But I still stayed on that corner. I still kept 2 burners on my side. I still was selling weed, you know what I mean? But when I came out of it, it took me a long time to wake up. To be honest, good brother, I think I woke up out of it in like 2000. When I came to Delaware, I came out of that life. That's a long time. That's a long time. So I can understand people who's taking long or even short, but to get caught up in stuff like that, that's through a system that's influenced. Because statistics shows that poverty-stricken neighborhood creates more crime. Again, so now as we speaking today, poverty-stricken neighborhoods creates more crime. Now, Inglewood is one of the deadliest places in Chicago. There's actually 26 homicides, 106 wounded, 132 shots, total people shot. Now, while that's going down, right, there's an article right now on WGNTV.com that Chicago Board of Education votes to close 4 Inglewood schools. Again, we going back to this is the main reason. If there's poverty, there's no school, there's no community. It's made for enemies that live in certain areas to run into each other, who made the same mistake we made by joining gangs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So now it's a system that's making these people run into each other for the purpose of making money off the jail system through black people. If you look at cocaine, white people did that. That was no felony. Crack was a felony. So again, we're looking at a bigger situation than everybody's just making a mistake in my book. Because we made those same mistakes. We got out of it. You know what I mean? These people in the matrix. We was in the matrix. They in the matrix. And its influences to keep people stuck in the matrix, even bigger than that. You know what I mean? And it's worse than it was 20 years ago. Because we didn't know, at the most it was cocaine. But now it's mind-altering drugs that have people believing they are shooters.
I think a lot of the problem is this, like you said earlier about the rappers and shit like that. And what I think is, all right, because I was telling somebody last week, I was like, as human beings in general, we're de-evolving. We're becoming, as human beings, we're becoming a lot less smarter, a lot less physically dominant, unless you're in a certain. It used to be where the culture was it's spread out as far as physicality and mentality, but now it's in a certain specialized. Like most people who are physical or even remotely in that area are in sports, and like you're more like I guess what you want to call it, mental individuals. They'll be in the IT thing, or you know, it's in specialized areas where it used to be kind of spread out, and everybody kind of could think and be able to have a conversation. Now it's not. We're de-evolving, and even as African Americans, I think is even worse than us because our culture is tied to sports and
Rap
music.
Yep.
And these people are idiots. And that's what they promote. Because if you take rap, for instance, in rap, it used to be about bars. It used to be about bars. You used to be able to, your average rapper had bars. The cat on the corner had bars. It was a big thing for you to be able to spit. Now it's not about bars. It's about if you can say Xanny and Percocet in the same sentence. And these young cats is on that.
And that's when I said this is how they dumbed down the black community. Because like you said, I remember rap used to be in a park and it was hip hop, but it was messages, not just bars. It was messages. It was visions. People talked about love and people talked about, you know, family things and stuff like that. And then you can't even get that because the record industry ain't going to allow it. So this is a form, I told you, of dumbing down America by putting these rappers who use slangs, non-educational raps that have no meaning to it, except to influence the younger generations to take Percocet, to take drugs, to take mollies, to shoot each other, to look for the ops. Again, there are people in higher power behind the music industry will not take a 16-year-old rapper who's talking about loving his family, credit repair, computer repair, make money on your own. Why you go to school when you could be an entrepreneur? They're not taking that. Marriage, they're not giving that. No, you got to speak about hate, and that's the only way you can get in the music industry. A big solution to that, if you know, black people open up their own music and go. And another thing, like you said, sports is another thing. To me, I believe sports used to be Monday night. Now it's every night. So sports take away, back in the days, sports was Sunday night. Now sports is every night. So it takes away from the family communicating, like the cell phones is another thing. You walk into somebody's house, 55 people in there, they all on the computer, iPhone. They're not communicating at Sunday table no more. Wife walk in front of the TV looking sexy, boom. The husband get upset. Move, baby. The son need help with homework. They go to sports again. Move. I'll help you later. Move. See what I'm saying? So, and then you got black young people who thinking they can be rich, like you said, through basketball and rap, when there's a lot of other ways of being rich. This is what being brainwashed through the music artists is, that's being paid to promote this agenda.
And see, and that was my point the other day, because I always tell people, listen, politically, I don't have no agenda. The last time I voted Republican. I haven't voted in a long ass fucking time. Because to me, a Republican and Democrat is the same thing. It's no different than a Crip and a Blood to me. You just got different names. You serve the same purpose. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So to me, that's my thought on it. But I told people, I was like, listen, I said, the black community, I said, we at the point to where we will worship a Lil Pump and shit on a Ben Carson because we don't like his politics. When in fact, one serves listen, man, I can see if Ben Carson was out there passing out Xanax and Percocets, but goddamn, at the very least, give him a shot. Listen, I will sit down with damn near anybody and have a conversation, because despite being an enemy or a person who disagrees with me, that don't mean we can't talk about something. You know what I'm saying? But we so quick to dismiss somebody of education because we don't agree with what it is that they say, but we'll embrace the person who's pumping Percocets and Xanax into your kids and raping your daughters and shit. We idolize that kind of shit. That's the shit that we get off on that. We like seeing a Scarface or something, or we like seeing the criminal and shit. But the minute a motherfucker like a Condi Rice, and I bring these up because these people get demonized by the African American community because of their affiliates. But how come don't nobody ever bring up the fact that that girl graduated college when she was 16? Wouldn't that be something that all kids should aspire to do? And now shit on her.
There's an article about a school in Chicago, right? There's an article in about a school in Chicago where and they did this 3 years in a row. 100% of a black-owned school graduated 3 times in a row. You never see that in the newspaper. Again, they're going back to the media, not promoting the positive aspect. We don't got control of that. There's only 4 people that own all the media, music station and media. 4. They all are Jewish. So this is the system again. Now I'm gonna just cut to a couple of solutions. For me, I'll say that one of the biggest problems, and let's say we wanted to protest a store or we wanted to protest the music. The biggest problem with that is protesting, why it don't work, is because people promoting, advertising the protesting. Back in the days before Martin Luther King or within Martin Luther King days, when people protested, it was behind the scene. If they had a problem with Walmart, nobody put that on Facebook. Nobody said we organizing all these people. So we got to go back to that days. When we want to protest a store being racist, let's do it behind the scene and let's protect the leader of that organization, of that protest. Nobody needs to know who his face is, because that's how they get killed, when they come out in the front line or whatever the case may be. And nobody should know that we got something coming up in November to shut down one of these racist stores, for instance. And the thing, like you said, all that raping, all that's coming through the music, pedophile and all that. And if you go back to Europe, that wasn't us. They even made a law back in 2015 or 16 where they said white people basically cannot have sex with animals no more. That wasn't us. In the 70s, we wasn't doing this. 60s, we wasn't doing this. We got a less domestic rate back in the 60s. So you can see where I'm just showing you where the influence coming from. Second thing is blacks need to support black business. They're the second problem. You know, because the white men only respect 3 things: death, money, sex. They the one that been doing that with their family. They the one that's shooting us and we ain't doing shit about it. And they got us supporting Nikes that belong to white men. They got us support. So we need to support ourselves behind the scene again. The third thing is start making positive music and movies and stuff like that. Not these new age subliminal movies and stuff like that. And then another main thing is changing the diet. A white man got a different diet from us. Okay. Now, what I mean by that is we're carbon-based mineral people. We're carbon-based minerals. Now, proteins is a supplement of minerals. Proteins, I'm going to repeat, is a supplement of minerals. Protein is not made for black people. You can't tell them that, though. So when you go to a daycare center and you see these kids that's allergic to stuff, guess what it is? Peanuts, peanut butter, fish, milk, meat, all that is protein. It's a form of, we're not supposed to be eating that. So this is their diet. Even when we get on a weight scale, we're using their weight scale. Our body structure is different from theirs. We're wearing a tight ass pants now. We wasn't wearing a tight ass pants. So we got to get our culture back and get people to produce clothing for us. We need to learn how to trade our money amongst themselves. If you go in the Jewish community, their money will rotate 12 times before it lose a community. China, Russia, 7 times, 5 times. A black person would take his money out and go straight across the street to that Arab store or that Chinese store or that white bank and shit like that. It don't go through the community. So we don't even support our own business. A dude down the block doing credit repair or he fixing cars, they rather go to one of these real car shop, $179 to get their brakes paid when this dude only charging $50. But he won't do it for $30. They rather pay $179. They rather go to Geico or one of these Best Buy store to get their computer fixed. They rather go to Lexington Law to get their credit repair. When it's people in our community that we should be doing. If you see a black barbershop, send your kids there and then let them make enough money. Then we got the man to say, look, you need to hire more people, and we'll even support and get you better equipment. You know, 5 people within that community. When we take care of our community, you know what I mean? We got the man over that. So the community church, nobody steps to them for not opening up school. The whole community could say, we're not coming here no more until you open up a school. You can go to the local grocery store and say, we want some organic food in here. You know what I mean? We don't make those demands. But again, these are the things that got to be done behind the scene. These are solutions. Communicating it to people is one hell of a thing, because, you know, some people are so brainwashed, you can't even talk to them.
Now, Hyde, I want to ask you this question, bro. Gut feelings. Before you came into the enlightenment, when you was out here in the world, or by your lonely, before you came into the enlightenment, were you operating on gut feelings?
I'm gonna be 100. Before we go further with that, I'm not. I don't think I'm enlightened. I don't think I'm enlightened at all. I'm not I don't think I'm conscious. I don't believe I'm any of that shit.
I think enlightenment, in my opinion, just has to do with being self-aware. You're self-aware of who you are in your surroundings, in my opinion.
I'm gonna be one, and I'll be 100 with you about it. When I was younger, and I kind of wanted to tell somebody this the other day, but people would look at me weird. When I was younger, fam, a lot of the things, like I told you, I shouldn't be here right now. A lot, the what I don't know what you would call it, but the forces always work with me as far as things like that. I've never received bodily harm without it coming to somebody who was about to give it to me first. I never like luck. I never depended on luck because something. I always worked hard enough to where shit would happen right, but it seemed like things would just fall right. So I mean, to answer your question, gut feeling, it wasn't a gut feeling. It was more of a no. I know it. You know what I'm saying? I know this is gonna happen, or I know this. So I guess you could say that, yeah, man. I mean, but I always been like this, and that's why I say like being in the gang. It was something to do at the time, but I just knew it wasn't me, and I knew I had a different route. You know, it was just things. My life was always going to be different. I think it's still going to be different. I think I feel I'm up for some big things, man. I don't know when and where or how, but I know something big is coming. I do know that.
We're gonna hop into taming the ego after John Hardy gives his rebuttal. John Hardy, when you was out here, man, I think I asked you before. Were you born knowing the stars like the back of your hand? And
yeah, I did. I think the first time I answered, I said like, I just knew. Like once I learned, I might have like when I was young, my brother was a Virgo, so I was like, I mean, he always lied. I just put two and two together. Virgos liars. So my sister was a Pisces. I know she'll flip out at nighttime. So little things like that, but. It was more of my gut.
Flip out at night.
No. It was more of my gut feeling. Now, let me break down to my definition of a gut feeling. I believe we all have it. Gut feeling, to me, is your emotions. One of the most emotions your gut feeling to kick in is fear. You might fear going over here. You might fear the police coming, so you ain't going over there. You might fear getting caught by your girl. You know what I mean? But it's also can be joyful. You know what I mean? My gut feeling told me in certain business days, and I ain't looked nothing up in the stars. I just felt the energy. It's also energy, good energy that I'm going to make. I used to always brag. I'd be like, I guarantee I'll make $600 today. I could feel it. That's off of your emotions, but it's also your intuition. So a lot of people have intuition versus psychic things. Intuition is just using your gut feeling. And like the brother said, he had guidance, divine guidance. So you could take people that's like, they know, that it's, but what, like he said, he knew. The reason why he knew, his intuition told him. So that's divine heavenly guidance. That's what they call God, the universe, angels, the stars, whatever you want to call it, higher power. It's actually protecting you. It's giving you signs to say, don't go here because something feel fishy. Something don't feel right. You could talk to somebody like, this brother don't feel right. That's all for your intuition. Be like, I don't trust this dude. And it could be based off of your experience and memory. You know what I mean? A lot of people might have experienced being played, so you could see that coming. You might have experienced something good, knowing that coincidentally, it's weird. Every August, I run into money. I don't know how. It could have been a lawsuit. It could have been a job. It could have been somebody giving it to me. Again, that your intuitions. So to me, a gut feeling is like your intuition is deep. It's off your feelings, and your feelings is emotions. Your emotion is mostly in your stomach. That's why they call it gut feeling. When you get fear, it creates anxiety in your stomach. You can't even use the bathroom sometimes. If you're on the run from the police, you can't even use the bathroom. Sometimes people think they're going to break up and lose their job. They stomach bother them. It creates anxiety. It creates fear. They might throw up.
John, the way you say that, man, is so true. Like all of my emotions happen. All of my anxiety takes place in the center of my stomach. I can't do shit.
You can't eat. You can't shit. You might feel nervous in your stomach. That's why they call it gut feelings, but it's really intuition to me.
It sounds awful.
Yeah, that's deep.
All right, well, shit, we're gonna get into taming our egos. I mean, you Hyde, Matt, Icket Mel, Super Slice. I mean, all these great kings and queens, Drea from the Bay, all these great kings and queens I've come across. I mean, you guys know way. I mean, look, when I need some insight, enlightenment, knowledge, so on and so forth, I come to you guys, and you know, you kings and you queens. How do you guys tame your ego though from not, you know, from jumping out the window? You go ahead, Hyde.
Shit, man. I try to stay humble, man. Cause I don't want to be I don't want to be on Front Street because when I get in, like, especially with people who I feel don't know, like I'll start going in, and then but then when you start presenting yourself in a certain manner, people mistake your confidence for being egotistical or arrogant. You know what I'm saying? And that puts you on the radar in a bad way. And I don't want, and it's almost to where you can't. If you wanted to show somebody something, they really wouldn't receive that information because they kind of think you're trying to shit on them. You know. So I really, you know, I hate to use the word dumb down, but I kind of try to dumb myself down just to make sure that I'm not, you know, imposing. I mean, y'all way smarter dudes than I am, so I don't foresee that situation with y'all. Um, but like when you get around the average person who just don't, like I was doing a Sudoku puzzle, Sudoku or whatever you call it, puzzle the other day, and this girl was doing one also, and I like finished because I've gotten that shit down to a science. You know what I'm saying? I whipped through them. I just kind of do them on the purpose of doing them now. And she was struggling, so I'm telling her, hey, listen, uh, this would be a better method for you. And I think she took it the wrong way, so she didn't even try it. So I waited about 10 minutes when she was still struggling and just came to her in a more humble manner. And then she received it. And then she actually understood. She was like, damn, you actually, you knew, you did know what you was, but I came off like an arrogant asshole in the beginning. So you got to kind of, I mean, it depends on who you're around. You got to kind of check your ego at the door a lot of times, even to learn something. You want to learn, like I was telling you, I was checking out Polite. I've been checking out Polite channel with like no opinion, me coming to this channel, this man, you know, humble, and seeing what he's talking about. Otherwise, you probably won't really get out of it what you should, you know?
I definitely feel you. John, you want to respond to that? How do you personally tame your ego? I mean, you seem like a real humble dude, man. But you know a lot of information. A lot of people out here walking around don't know.
Well, people got to understand what is the ego. The ego is like, the ego is not a bad thing. It could be negative or positive. The ego is like somebody who's over eagerly. They could be overly confident. They could be talking about themselves. They could be selfish. They use the word a lot instead of we and us. Now, the positive aspect of having the ego is self-esteem. You know, your ego, the broader your self-esteem. So the way I control my ego, I refer it to the mental. You know what I mean? Or even your emotions, people that can get emotionally aroused. Now, when I look at the word ego, I think about what is the ego in a negative aspect. To me, the ego is always caused by thinking of something in the past that's negative, whether it's mentally or whether it's emotionally, or thinking about something in the future, whether it's mentally or emotionally. Here's an example. Somebody lost their job 3 months ago. They still stuck on that shit. Think of your ego was bruised. So now, or somebody broke up with somebody, they be like, I ain't messing with no white people no more. I ain't messing with black people no more. I ain't messing with niggas no more. I'm gonna start messing with girls and all that. That gonna bruise ego. You thinking about the past. You know, some people's ego can be so bruised that it'll kick in the pride where they just say, no, I don't trust nobody no more. You've been around people you don't trust. Now, if you go in the future, your ego can be distorted because you got doubts about going for a job. You fear you're not going to get hired. You think your girl want to break up with you because she said we need to talk. So again, it's to break the ego. You come out of the past, come out of the future, and stick to the present. Your conscience is the present. Your mind is in the past and future, but you just come to the conscience. So whenever my ego kicks in, you know what I mean, I try to use it for positive, but if I don't use it for positive, then you know what I mean, I just come out of my ego alone by being in the present. What am I doing? I should start thinking, what am I doing now? I'm on YouTube. Let me think about something positive to say on YouTube. You know what I mean? Then I look around and appreciate the things I got. You know, I got good health. I like my house. I like my car. I got a nice red speaker. I just stay in the present. So what am I doing now? So now I just think of something positive to do in my current state of mind. So in order for people to come out of their ego. Don't think about, well, you know, somebody that got their chest out bragging about something that they learned from somebody else may not actually be factual, you know, or talking down against somebody they don't trust, they might don't know. You stick to yourself and your conscience and the presence, and that'll get people, you know, bringing their ego down. Just be more humble sometimes. Listen to what people saying. You know, sometimes a person that talk too much, they need to listen more. A person that listen too much, they need to speak more. But it always have to be in the presence, because people's emotions is stuck in the past negatively or in the future negatively.
That's a fact. And you know, Hi, you be putting out a lot of videos, man. The most recent one you put out, you said, well, not the most recent, but you definitely put this out a couple of days ago. You said 395 sick from McDonald's salads. It's Charlemagne the God's fault.
I'm blaming everything on him. Every time, I've been telling you, that's my new thing. Everything happened, I'm blaming it on him. His name will get a mention.
What make you feel that way? Was he in the kitchen, you know, chopping up the salads himself?
It's two people gonna get work every time I live stream. Charlemagne and whoever I felt like was raping that girl on that IG page. I'm gonna keep bringing that shit up until somebody so I hear something different about that. That's gonna play at the beginning of every one of my streams until I hear something about it. Because when I heard shit, that shit sounded like she was being raped. And it didn't seem like nobody was doing a fucking thing about it. And that bugs me.
That's a fact. They said there wasn't even going to be an investigation on that.
It's not nothing. You don't hear nothing. You don't see shit. Nobody's saying a goddamn thing about it. Wow. And it's like rape is fucking acceptable. How's it? Bro, I'm telling you, rape is a thing now. It's a thing. It's shit. It's like Percocets. Everybody doing it. It is a fucking thing, and I don't think that is not goddamn cool.
Let me go on the instant.
The shit is out of fucking control, man. And like I said, Charlemagne and fucking whoever this cat was fucking with that girl in the background, they're getting to work every time I fucking stream.
That's a fact. And you know, I stopped really talking about this whole Charlemagne situation because I'll be honest, I don't want no more smoke. And on top of that, I'm just genuinely I'm tired of giving that dude my energy. You know what I'm saying? But it's a lot of reports saying the mother came out and did an interview. I'm hearing. You got to correct me if I'm wrong because I haven't been keeping up with this. To be honest, I just crapped out. They also saying that her best friend Malika was trying to do an interview on CNN. You know, I mean, how long is this going to go on? Is this, you know, do you guys feel like this is playing? Are they trying to drag this out?
Listen, it ain't gonna. There is no end game. I don't think there's an end game to this. That's why I told you when this shit first popped off and Star was doing it. It wasn't that I wasn't supporting her. I tried to go a little bit deep. My angle was, what the fuck is Star doing? What is his end game to the? You see, because you see how where it's going now, right? The shit is going is.
They're trying to take it to the Supreme Court.
It's taking on the life of its own. This thing is gone, and that's the thing I was always asking about her. What is the end game for her? What can happen to make things right for her? Because I honestly don't believe he's going to jail. That's not gonna fucking happen. I don't think that's gonna happen. So what's gonna be good? What, you know, I hate to say not satisfy her, but what is she looking for out of this?
Well, it's not her. Here's the thing, right? This is the best part that nobody looks at. I don't like think like she caused this. Like this idiot. I wouldn't even say Charlemagne the God. He caused it himself. He brought it up. He had an interview. He spoke about it. He made these jokes. He brought it up again. He irritated the girl until she said, well, now I'm going to take action because, you know, she got to live with that. Now, if you ask me my personal opinion, every celebrity, like he got an HBO coming out and he actually probably got a book coming out and he's trying to do more interview with politicians. Now, most people that go through that, it's a ritual that you have to go through a public shame first. Gotta put dirt on your name. The worst thing that can happen, public shame. That's a ritual. if you look at a lot of people, they went through it first. They came out of it, never went to jail. You go to Bill Cosby, name them all. Never went to jail. It's a public shame. Got to go through it. To me, this is no more than a ritual. I don't think that the only end game is that he went through it. So now he's going to get everything he wants. The girl might get a deal, book deal and all that. She's going to realize she got opportunities out of this. But he brought it up. And what made me say that is because he brought this upon himself. No, he wouldn't stop. He just kept going on and on. He even made a statement about if I allegedly fornicated with you, allegedly, and I could have got 2 years for it, then he said something like that. He said, well, then you owe me 2 years of fornication. See? And that's why he turned it up even more. You know, he just don't stop that mouth of his. You know what I mean? He's that mouth. He don't think about what he say, because at one time he thought he was untouchable.
Who says stuff like that? Even regular people don't say shit like that.
Yeah, he goofy, man.
He got some balls, man. He got some balls to say shit like that, especially knowing. I mean, the dude has 2-point-something million followers on. He with the shits. He don't care. He don't care, John.
Hey, fam. Hey, listen. I might have to jump off real quick. I'm gonna jump back on though. All right.
Cool.
I think we should be wrapping this up. We almost finished, right?
Yeah. Anything else y'all want to actually talk about?
The last thing you were saying was the gut feelings and emotional. So I think we could just start putting a wrap to this.
All right, it's cool. If y'all don't want to talk about nothing else, y'all don't want to bring nothing else up, you tell them where to find you guys at.
Go ahead, John.
All right, you can find me at facebook.com/King John, all capital letters, King John 2020, and Astro Space Enlightenment on YouTube. I got some videos I posted up from January, more videos to come. And thanks to these two good brothers who actually gave me the inspiration. I appreciate you and everybody else you brought on this panel, low-key. Everybody you brought on the panel just gave me the inspiration just to start putting up videos. Instagram, Astrolife, Twitter, coming soon, astrolifecoach1@gmail.com.
A fact.
And you can catch me at Hyde Reactz on YouTube with a Z, REACTZ, on Twitter at Hyde7674. Man, I always appreciate getting in with you cats, man. Shit, they say still sharp and still, so let's keep getting sharp, man.
Hey, you know, Hyde. Hey, you know, Hyde. I know you're not Logan no more, but I'm gonna shout you out with my hat. I had to throw my hat on to shout you out.
You gotta be careful where you wear that, man.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I only go
to no ops, boy.
I only go to like Dunkin' Donuts and 7-Eleven with this on.
Yeah,
don't worry, if they want smoke, call me, dog. I'm from Brooklyn. Got you back, dog. Back.
Well, look, I appreciate y'all for coming on once again. This is just another random fucking live stream show that, you know, hopefully when the people watch it, that it actually they connect with the energy and the enlightenment here and the knowledge and the self-awareness here. And that's all, you know, that's all I really want for my channel, to connect with kings like the two of you and queens. I'm working on bringing a couple more queens, so you guys, you know, you guys have some female energy to go at. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna see how that's gonna turn out. That might be interesting. But I definitely appreciate you two for coming through, man. That's it. Fuck. It's low key. We out.
Peace.
Peace.